Hey, I'm Danielle Story, and I'm here today in the display home of Jackson Yin at iBuild. And it's just such an exciting story. Jackson and his business partner Michael have been homed in the Innovation Centre for the last nearly 3 years now.
That's right.
And you've basically built, so probably from the year before that, you've built an incredible company up in Flatpack Build. Now, the story I like to tell, this is the bit where I get to tell it on camera and you get to tell me whether actually I'm right or not, is that you were selling investment properties and you were concerned about housing affordability. And so you came up with an idea, and I want to hear a bit about how you did that, that you would build property or houses that could be erected in very short periods of time, very affordably. Where were you when you came up with that idea? What brought that on?
Oh, that would be came back very long time ago when I probably arrived in Australia 20 years ago as a student. I found that rental accommodation is hard to find and very expensive. Mm-hmm. That always sank in my mind. After my graduation, I went to corporate world and I started doing some property investment and small development with my business partner Michael. We found that building in Australia is extraordinarily expensive, probably the top 3 most expensive in the world. And from that, as an engineer, both Michael and myself thought there must be better ways of doing things. And therefore, we start trialing, we start researching, start R&D development, and until we start one day decide that thing that we can potentially commercialize to potentially help not only us, ourselves, but also the clients and people in Australia to improve their housing affordability.
And it's a fantastic example. And I was listening to you before when you were talking about you've left some of this display home in raw format, in the kit build format, and then there's other parts of the place, the home that has been stick built, regularly built, but quite often you can't tell the difference between the two. And it's really fantastic. Now, you were showing me before some of the photos that you've got here. Yep. Do you want to tell me a little bit about these 2 photos?
So this is a house, actually flat pack. In fact, Daniel, that's the very unit you're standing here. When this shrink flat pack, that's here.
Yep.
Can be lifted up by a forklift. Mm-hmm. And it can be assembled very fast with the aid of a crane. In a matter of about 40 minutes, we can go to a
40 minutes.
Exactly right.
Wow.
Each unit. So our clients in many parts of Australia can assemble the whole unit to a log car in a matter of 7 or 8 hours.
Fantastic. So hundreds of clients?
That's right.
Almost thousands of clients at the moment?
Worldwide.
Yeah. What are they telling you? What are they
They are very happy about the price because dramatically improve the cost, and most important probably the speed, the time. So that's just echo our motto. We want to get things done stronger, the building, faster, cheaper, and smarter.
And you not only, because I know when you started out, you had a whole lot of issues, and like any innovation or any, when you began, you obviously scoped a project. You knew what you were up against, and you've had a lot of connections into buildings, so you knew some of the things that you'd be faced up against. Were there really big moments of, what are we doing? How are we going to solve this? Were there many moments like that?
Absolutely, a lot. Probably, just like many startups, you would face enormous amount of challenges and hurdles. Mm-hmm. In the building industry, particularly people want to see a display. Without a display, it's almost impossible to demonstrate no matter how beautiful the website is. That's why this particular display, as soon as we demonstrate to the world, can be done beautifully, can be done super quickly. And that attracts attention of the media. And that just naturally just grow up very fast.
So and this is one of the things that I've been incredibly impressed as an innovator, and we're going to have some people listening and watching who have got innovation of their own. You weren't shy about going to the media. You took video, you used Camtasia, remember in the beginning, you used all of the things that the easy and sometimes free tools to build yourself some visual press releases and sent them out, didn't you? What's some of the things that you can tell our listeners? What are a couple of the tips that you can use that you can tell them that they can use that would help them get some of that leverage in the media?
Probably very important is news media. They're always interested in something new, newsworthy. If you're the first time, probably you try to a more magazine or media that's easier to get publicity than a mainstream if that proves difficult. Once you get the first one publicized, the mainstream will follow.
I've always loved on your banner the way that you've got as featured in. I find that that obviously gives you some initial credibility. But I mean, it's certainly everything speaks for itself. And I know that the City of Monash have been a great support for you to be able to build and to have the place here. Construction technology is moving at such a rapid rate, and because construction requires us to put it on the ground and do something with it. What are some of the hints that you can offer people when working with councils, for example, or regulators or regulation? What are some of the things that you've learned in the journey over the last couple of years?
I think very important to engage council because at a very early stage, whether it's you want to do, for example, this particular display home, I remember I spent at least 10 to 20 hours writing out a business proposal.
Okay.
And present that proposal to relevant council departments. Mm-hmm. If it's for business purpose, probably economic development unit might be a good point of start rather than go straight to a planning department. If it's just for construction work itself, it's probably request a appointment with the duty town planner to explain what you would like to do, to ask for input, and try to incorporate as much as possible the council's pre-lodgement advice into the proposal. Therefore, once it's lodged, you make it assessed more favorably.
So scope out what the council's looking for first and make sure that that's in your documentation. Very, very good news. So, and then moving on to technology in construction, which, you have an incredible blend of construction, and I'm going to use all the non-construction terms here. Construction as a building technique, but also you must be using an enormous amount of technology as well. Tell me a bit about that.
Construction technology is growing and evolving very rapidly, ranging from the design, such as 3D design, to preview things before it's constructed. It's called a BIM system, to the management of your contractors, to invoices, to etc., to the actual construction and the design of the modules. So the overall trend is towards off-site construction rather than on-site, so that things can be done faster in a controlled environment, less disturbance to neighborhood, less noise, and also more sustainable, more materials being utilized more effectively in a controlled factory environment. In fact, it's predicted that very soon 1 in 10 buildings in Australia will be built using the modular or prefabricated method.
Built off-site first, constructed in the minimum motor town. So you've just done that. You've built a 2-story, 100 bed ward in an aged care facility.
That's right.
And you built it off-site in Somerton, at your
That's right.
facility in Somerton. How many hours did it take you to construct it on site?
Probably take about 2 months to complete the modules.
Off-site?
Off-site in the factory.
Yeah.
But probably take a weekend, 72 hours to get it assembled.
72 hours, 2 stories and a 100-bed ward. That's fairly impressive.
You could see a brand new building wing being erected just after the weekend. Suddenly there's a new building. Yeah.
It's good in areas where you can't afford this ongoing disruption, particularly, it takes away the whole working in the winter, for example. You can only build in the summer and the autumn because of the weather. You can build all year round, can't you?
That's right.
Very impressive. So what's next? So what's next as an innovator and as a founder? Because I can imagine, what's it like getting those great ideas and getting excited about something and going to, whether it's to China or whether you're building here in Australia, and you're ideating and then putting things into plan, and very quickly you're turning into somebody who needs to be hands-on in what's becoming quite a large organisation. What's that like? Do you get a hankering to go back to the design and the innovation side piece?
It's a very great question, Daniel. You always, as an engineer, as an innovator, you always try and, of course, you do things yourself. You probably can do faster sometimes, but I think as business grow, we need to build high performance teams to upscale and grow towards a rapid growth trajectory. So working with a build-up team, scouting talents, it's very important. I probably spend more than half of my time now trying to build up a team to attract right talents, get a right mix together, working very closely with universities, research and development organizations. We probably spend quite a bit of efforts to looking at what's coming, what we can do, looking at the 5-year time horizon, what's the new technology coming, and what's available now, what's the commercialization possibility. So we scout those things out and then scope them and get the resources to look on those prospects, and then partner with many organizations towards achieve those goals.
Do you miss founder world though? Do you miss that whole coming up with an idea and building it? Because it's different working into management and building teams.
Yes, quite different. Sometimes we do miss those times you can get hands-on to do things. On the other hand, you probably can achieve a lot more faster. Or of course, now you've got multiple teams working things. Maybe individually, they might progress slightly slower than you go straight to do that. But on the other hand, you've got a multiple parallel process going. You could achieve multiple goals probably at the same time frame.
And impacting more people, creating better jobs for people, creating better outcomes for customers, and that's ultimately what we're all trying to do, I guess, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. So one last question. If you could do one thing with the iBuild products that isn't yet available in technology world or in the world or in innovation that you've got your sights set on in 5 years, what's that one thing you really want to do?
The things that we would like to probably summarize that's something that can be very, very strong.
Innovation on innovation. Yeah.
Yes, super strong. Can be built super fast and looks amazingly smart.
Okay.
And very affordable.
Cool. Wow, very good. So there you have it. I'm tipping that we could probably talk about construction and construction technology and innovation in construction for about another hour. But for now, if you want to see what Jackson's got, it's down with us in Mulgrave, down near the Innovation Centre, and you can get in touch with the iBuild team and come and have a look at this innovation in construction. Until next time, see you then.